Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the MMA Corner post-fight wrap-up. Tonight we're going to break down UFC Fight Night 48 and UFC Fight Night 49. Holy crap, what a night it was. We will get to it in just a second. As always, tonight's episode is brought to you by Battle Bomb, the only pain reliever with the knockout power. BattleBomb.com. Check them out. Audio for tonight's episode is powered by Soul. Power, clarity, comfort, Soul Electronics. Get you some. I'm your host, Josh Davis, alongside my co-host, Justin Fuller. Pow! Pow! Exactly. Really, holy crap, what can you say? Dos Anjos shocked the world tonight. But before we get into UFC Fight Night 49, give me your thoughts on UFC Fight Morning 48.
48 delivered. My two Chinese fighter picks won. Tyrone had a spectacular, surprising finish, and Michael Bisping did what Michael Bisping does when he's at his best against guys that are not some of the best. Put on a good clinic, beat him up, and got a good finish. I was very glad I woke up and watched that card. 4 fights main card. That's my favorite number of fights for a main card. And 9 a.m. ain't too bad when I got fights to watch.
Well, it was a little bit earlier for me on in the Mountain Time Zone, and I got up and did the whole fight pass. But anyways, from top to bottom, it was a solid card. It was excellent. I can't say there were any shockers on there. While I did pick Dong Young Kim to get the victory, I wasn't shocked that Tyrone Woodley got the win. He did make me eat my words, though. I am starting to believe the hype now that he's not choking in big fights. He does hit hard. He's got great wrestling. As he continues to improve, maybe he is the real deal. So it was a great victory for Woodley. Bisping, exactly what you said, Justin. He did exactly what we thought he was going to do. He was able to use his striking, stay on the outside, pick Conley apart, and was just proved that he was a better overall fighter, and was able to get the victory. And no, it was not a night poke. It was a nice clean shot.
It was a punch to the eye.
Exactly. But if you missed any of the action, definitely go to the MMAcorner.com, your home for all things MMA. No video highlights because UFC didn't release them because it was a Fight Pass event. However, the post-fight press conference is on there. A lot of good quotes from Dana, a lot of good quotes from Bisping, so definitely go check it out if you haven't, and you can read the event recap as well. But UFC Fight Night 48, solid card. Again, on Fight Pass for what it was. It was beautiful. It was a great morning of event. So I definitely had no problem getting up super early to check out the fights. Moving right along, Justin, give us your thoughts on what we just saw. UFC Fight Night 49, Henderson versus Dos Anjos. I'm still processing through it in my head, and I got some comments, but let's go to you first.
I think you want to talk about, like, as hyped as I was after 48, okay, in the morning, I did not think 49 was going to, A, deliver as well, or B, top it. But it topped it. We had 5 finishes out of 6 main events, and the one fight that went to a decision, the James Vick Valmer Lazaro, was a freaking barn burner. Hands down, back and forth, and even though my pick didn't win, I had no complaints about that fight. So just top to bottom, great card. And Dos Anjos, big upset, definitely, depending on how things play out, might have just earned a title shot, depending on how things play out and how people stay healthy.
Definitely, and depending on really the Cerrone Alvarez fight and how quickly Khabib can come back from his injury, he might have just worked himself into a title shot, like you just said. First off, from top to bottom, again, the UFC delivered another solid card. Ben Saunders with the omoplata. I mean, that was freaking sick. It's not the first time we've seen the omoplata finish in the UFC, but it is a rarity, and anytime you can see someone pull it off, it's definitely beautiful. But all night long, solid fights. Main card, again, delivered. Like you said, the unanimous decision for James Vick. It was a great fight. Went back. There was great action. Then when you get before we get to the main event, Jordan Main, he, I think, put the world on notice. He definitely is more than a rising star. He's a star right now. I do want to see Jordan Main, Brandon Thatch. I think that fight makes sense. I think they match up very well against each other. I think it would be exciting. I haven't talked to Brandon recently, so I don't know what his toe situation is like, but if he's healing up, I would love to see that fight. I think it makes perfect sense. And like I said, Jordan put the world on notice. He's here to stay. That was beautiful. Dos Anjos. I don't know what to say. I thought Ben would be able to overpower him, get the victory, all of that kind of stuff. But he wasn't. Both fighters started off, they were able to trade shots, so to speak. But then you saw it. Dos Anjos started to get the better of it. He pushed Henderson back up against the cage. He was landing strikes on the cage. Ben Henderson ducked his head down and was doing one of those, trying to push him off. He was definitely feeling the punishment. He was starting to get scared. Dropped his head, ate the knees, was forced to go for a takedown, I think, just out of,
recovery.
Thank you. Obviously, that got stuffed, and then he got finished. But his comments after the fight that he thought he was clear-headed. I love Ben Henderson. I'm a huge Ben Henderson fan. Obviously, he's from Colorado Springs, not too far from where I live. I watched this kid get a start before he moved out to Arizona. He was out. I don't think there was any question. I think it was a great stoppage. He was out. He was out. I think Big John made the right call. I don't think there was really any question. But again, I'm not the fighter. I wasn't in there. But from all of the 6, 7, 8, 36 different angles that the UFC provided for us, in my opinion, he was out. What do you think, Justin?
You know, when I saw it the first time, I was like, oh, crap, he's going to be finished. And then I thought, oh, man, I didn't get to see him be finished. And then I saw the replay, and I go, you know what? John stepped in when he saw those legs buckle. And then he ate 2 more shots before John got between Dos Anjos and Bendo. And I thought, okay, yes, I would have liked to have seen that go for like a half a second more because it's the #1 contender there in the ring and it's a main event. However, I thought it was still a clean stoppage. It was a little early, but not bad. And that was after watching the replay. So I thought there was no way he was going to recover from the position he was in with the damage he just took. But it was, fighter safety first. His legs buckled. 2 more shots to the head could be the difference between short-term and long-term damage. And that's Big John's job.
Well, and I think 2 more shots. When you saw him get up, he was wobbly, and then he tried to run like he was all right. I think 2 more shots, and he wouldn't have even been able to get up to do that. So I think he was done. I think it was a good stoppage, and kudos, congratulations to Rafael Dos Anjos, because, again, he was given the opportunity to seize the moment, and he did. And, he whooped on Donald Cerrone, then got whooped on by Khabib, but rebounded very well, beat obviously a very tough contender, and Ben Henderson, the #1 guy. So we earlier talked title shot. He might have worked himself right into it. If he didn't, because, again, Gilbert Melendez and Anthony Pettis, is such a long ways away. And then after they fight, they're going to need time to heal. And it's going to be a long time before somebody else gets a title shot. So if he doesn't want to wait, I'm putting you on the spot here. Play Joe Silva. Who's he get?
I would have normally said the winner of Eddie Alvarez, Donald Cerrone. However, if Donald Cerrone wins that, and you're the guy that says, I already beat Donald Cerrone and Khabib's out on an injury and I beat the #1 contender, I'm next in line. So in that case, I say, might be worth to see what happens. But since we don't even have a date yet for Pettis Melendez, it's not going to hurt for him to fight. I don't care if he fights Gray Maynard. The guy should take one more fight just to be ready to step in. And who's to say Melendez doesn't get hurt right before that fight? Who's going to step in? Going to be the guy that just beat the #1 contender and former champion. So for as far as Dos Anjos goes, if he can't fight, if Eddie Alvarez doesn't win, or the rematch with Cerrone doesn't make sense, maybe like a Bobby Green.
There's talks and rumors and this, that, and the other about the return of TJ Grant. And
if and when it happens, okay, but I'm not going to bank on it.
No, I'm not going to bank on it either. I'm just throwing it out there. Because, again, like I said, there's the rumors that he might be healthy and ready to resume fighting as early as September. So just a name that I would throw out there. But, and who knows? As much as I love Donald Cerrone, Dos Anjos pretty much handled him. It was not a good fight for Donald. And not to say that Donald couldn't beat him if they fought again. Just in the first fight, it wasn't a good performance for Donald. So if I'm Dos Anjos, that's not a fight I want to hop right back into, especially the way he's been whooping fools since. So I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what the UFC does with this. Moving on, I want to talk about Max Holloway and Clay Collard. First off, Clay's chin. Dude's a beast. I mean, he took a punishment. He took a beating. I know if Max hit me that many times, I'd be curled up in the fetal position if I was still awake. So kudos to Clay, but even more importantly, another great performance by Max Holloway. I said on the prediction show how much I love this kid, but I really cannot say enough about how much I do believe that this kid is the future of the division. Yes, he has the losses to Dustin Poirier, Dennis Bermudez, and Conor McGregor, but there's no shame in any of those losses. And so he's 22 years old, still a young kid. We have not seen anywhere close to what he has to bring to the table. So I'm excited about him.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Max to win that, but Cassius Clay definitely impressed, and he definitely hung in there. Just the veteran just sort of, had his number, wore him down, and, made it work. But I definitely want to see him again, and he's one of those guys who comes at a low price tag. So when a guy who's 60-60 puts on a boring fight and goes 3-3, well, he's easy to cut because I can hire a dozen Clays at that price tag. So we're going to see more of him for sure. And I'm curious to see how he develops as a fighter in the next year or two.
Yeah, without question. And, that's a good point because, really neither one of these fighters make a lot of money. And so we're definitely going to see more of Clay because he's a gamer, first off. And second off, he's not costing the UFC a whole lot of money. Max, obviously, he's starting to become a fan favorite. He's certainly a favorite of the UFC. He's a young kid. Again, not a big price tag. Big future for him.
I mean, Max is maybe a 20-20 guy, but still, he's winning fights right now. So they love paying you when you win.
That is the truth. And plus, we'll find out from the commission, hopefully, what the reported salary for Max was. So we'll have a general idea of what the UFC is reporting that they're paying him. Big props to Chaz Skelly on this card. Great victory for him. Not what I expected, but he got it done. Look good.
Yeah, and that was my pick too. But hey, Chaz worked it good, man. It was a little bit of a back and forth grappling match, and it ended up working out really well in his favor. So that was my pick. I'm glad the way he finished it, and I think I even said it was maybe going to be submission too.
Yeah, you might have. If anyone wants to question it, they can go back and watch it. That's the great thing about the MMAcorner.com, your home for all things MMA. All our stuff is posted. We stand by it. It's right there. Talis Latis. We both picked him to win this fight. I did think he was going to be able to make it a long night for Francis.
Yeah.
I obviously, if you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted out that it was a very slow first round. It was kind of disappointing. Talis's corner obviously was reading in my tweets because he came out in the second round and laid down the beatdown. The overhand right was beautiful. He followed it up great. I didn't necessarily think he was going to get the knockout. I believe I said he would get a submission victory, but his striking is so not only improved, but it is so much more aggressive. And he goes out there. He is starting to put things together, and again, as he continues to evolve, big things are coming from Talis, and he's already fought for a title once. He laid on his back for 5 rounds against Anderson Silva, so he's been there once, working himself back up the ladder. I look for more things for.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I thought with the first round, Karmos got some good wrestling. He's got good hands. So Leites was probably feeling out, trying to gauge, hey, how does this guy want to fight? Because he clearly had the improved striking and confidence in his striking, but he's also a guy who's not afraid to go to the ground, and he's also not afraid to fight off his back on the ground. So I think for him it was probably more, and even for his corner it was more of a, let's see what Karmos is going to do to determine which of my many deadly weapons I'm going to use against him, because he's got multiple. Okay, he wants to stand. He wants to try and work some game. He can't take me down. I can shrug him off. Cool. Now I'm going to unload on him and make a statement. And he made a statement. Like you said, he's fought for a title before. This is one of the most dangerous jiu-jitsu guys in MMA in any weight class. All right? But let's point out the fact that he's on his second KO TKO win in the UFC since returning, and he has not had a submission victory in the UFC in 5 years. That's a dangerous guy right there, and I think he's the true dark horse of the division right now. And I loved his attitude in the post-fight. He's like, I'll fight whoever they got for me, but I just want to take a break, take some time, and enjoy this ride I'm on right now. That's the perfect mentality to have, because that means he's just going to take what they throw at him, do his best, and have the right mindset going into these big fights. And he set himself up for a big fight, for sure.
He did. I don't know how he doesn't get a top 10 guy coming off of this victory, because his 4 straight wins in the UFC, he's been dominant. So I don't know how he doesn't get a top 10 guy. I think that's what they give to him. And you're right, having that mindset is perfect. He's not in there talking trash. He's not Luke Rockhold, Michael Bisping in it. He's just in there to do his job. And yeah, I think that's going to bode well for him. I think he'll get a top 10 guy, and we'll see how it goes from there. All right, final thoughts on the card.
Whew. Well, I want to comment. I feel bad for Mike Pyle, man, but Jordan Mein looked good, And like I said, the guy who wins this fight's going to set himself up for a big fight right after this, but Mike Pyle ain't going anywhere. When you look at the guys he's lost to, Matt Brown, Roy McDonald, now Jordan Mein, that means Jordan Mein's going to work his way up the rankings, and Mike Pyle's going to go to smashing and being a good gatekeeper for the top 10 of the division. Can't say enough about Dos Anjos. He could be that guy. He's ready to step in for a title shot if something happens, Or, again, who knows what's going to happen. But if TJ Grant doesn't come back, if Donald Cerrone beats Eddie Alvarez, I say Bobby Green is the man for him to fight. And that's a good way to prove that you can take on anyone, and to recover from that Khabib win. And hopefully Khabib gets healthy again and we can see him on the, back in the mix. But other than that, you can't ask for a better card. So when the full fight video highlights come out, people need to check that out, because you had 5 finishes out of 6 fights. No complaints there. There's going to be plenty of highlights.
And we will have all of the highlights on the MMAcorner.com, your home for all things MMA, as we do for all of you fans, because we rock like that. But again, from top to bottom, this card was solid. Again, congratulations to Rafael Dos Anjos. He really put himself in position to do big things. It was great opportunity for him, and he did what I didn't think he could do. Ben Henderson, back to the drawing board. It's a tough loss for him. I really don't know what he does from here, so it'll be interesting to see how he rebounds. Jordan Main's the man. Again, I want that Brandon Thatch fight. I think it makes sense. I think they match up well. And Mike Powell, if he is going to be the gatekeeper, no tougher guy to do it. He is getting up there in age, so obviously we don't know how many fights he has left, but I think he's got 1 or 2 left in him. Max Holloway, can't wait to see him back. Same thing with Clay Collard, and Chas Skelly. So there were a lot of great fights, a lot of great finishes. Definitely look for the highlights, because we will have them up here shortly. We will be back tomorrow with a new show, so if there's any news that you missed out on, definitely check that out. We will be on 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. Then
early.
Exactly. Then we will be back Thursday night giving you our predictions and breakdowns for UFC 177, Dillashaw versus Barao, and then obviously Saturday night, August 30th, we will be giving you a full recap. In the meantime, if there's anything that we missed, definitely check out the MMAcorner.com, your home for all things MMA. Have you covered. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Boni Asai. Definitely check them out. They are on the website. Hit the banner. All the products that you need, all the products that your favorite fighters use, such as Max Holloway from tonight, all of the Brazilian guys.
Oh, yeah, they love that shit.
Exactly. They can't get enough of it. Lyoto Machida, everyone knows Vitor Belfort, so the list goes on and on. You get that stuff on the website, and then, as always, Soul. So, for Justin Fuller, I'm Josh Davis. Keep living the MMA Corner lifestyle. Peace.